Hey everyone, Coach Sullivan here again with MGS Coaching Football. I want to thank my subscribers and those who haven't yet, I really hope you do. And I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank YouTube for providing this platform. I just completed my 38th year coaching football as a defensive coordinator, but over that span, I've been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. What I'd like to talk to you about in this presentation is one of our zone blitz coverages that we call large. It's a coffee size, okay? And so when both inside linebackers coupled with an outside linebacker or a DB, we use large coverage, which is one of our zone blitz coverages, okay? I'm going to show it to you versus 11 personnel. We can use it versus all personnel groups, okay? We can use it out of our base and rotate, so non-subscribers have to push that button, all right? So this is a zone blitz coverage, which means it's going to mix zone and man principles together, okay? And I'm not going to get into quite the same amount of detail as I do in the zone blitz coverage introduction, small, medium, trio. So non-subscribers. All right, I'm purposely trying to tease you into that. What I'd really like to focus on is the general aspect of our zone blitz coverage technique, mixing zone and man, but more importantly, why we use large coverage when it's a six-man pressure, both inside linebackers, and either one outside linebacker or one defensive back. Okay? So over here are the key terms, and then here in the diagram, I'm going to bring it to life for you. Again, minus the incredible detail that I provide in other presentations. Non-subscribers. So first up, the zone key, principle, surface. Everybody's reading the offensive line. Everybody. For run or pass, which is what we do all the time in our base defensive system, which is zone coverage. Okay, so again, non-subscribers, you have to push the button for that. But there's the first zone principle. Everyone's reading the offensive line. So number two, what is large coverage? As I've already said, it's a six-man pressure, both inside linebackers, plus either one outside linebacker or one DB, making it the six-man pressure. So for us, all three defensive linemen are always included in that number to answer that question. So number three, and this is the big key point here, hot coverage. That's all underneath coverage defenders. So up here, right, I've got the both inside linebackers, and in this example, the rover, outside linebacker. So both corners and the one other outside linebacker are the three hot defenders. Okay, they're the three underneath. The safeties, we're going to bring in a second. One of them will be added to the underneath coverage, giving us four. Okay, so here's the key. They play with, and I quote myself, man coverage with zone leverage, end quote. Man coverage with zone leverage. Okay, that's what makes it zone blitz coverage. Now, how we cover the running back in number four, okay, outside cage, meaning it could be the blitzer because we have either an outside linebacker or a DB, which will make them an outside blitzer. Them or the defensive end who has outside cage on his side. All right. They take the running back in C to D gap, so outside. The inside defenders, including both inside linebackers, so essentially the nose and the two inside linebackers, they take the running back B to B. Okay, so we, in essence, have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders committed to the running back. And the running back is usually used as a blitz beater. Okay? And there's a possible rhino tag, which puts the nose into coverage, but I'm not going to get into that detail. So the reasons for large, less risk. I love to pressure, but I don't like to gamble, see? So I will pressure you all day long. but I'm going to do it safely. B, we keep the receivers in front of us, hence play man coverage with zone leverage. We have better run support. I'll use a six-man pressure, both inside linebackers and outside, or a DB in a running situation or a passing situation or a 50-50. All right, either way, either of those three scenarios, I want good run support in case it's a run. And that can only happen if everybody's reading the surface, the offensive line, like they always do. The coverage reads the surface, the O-line. Goes back to working backwards. Better run support, keep the receivers in front, less risk. And the big one here, okay, E. It's a defensive structure change, right? So Lucky equals Louie, which I'm going to give you in the diagram, and the opposite, Ringo equals Roger. Okay, whenever an outside linebacker or a defensive back blitzes, the structure change, again, non-subscribers, right, is the safety structure, and that has to change because somebody from the perimeter is blitzing, and the safety spin and cover it up. All right? So because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we only have 5 available to cover. This is why we execute large zone blitz coverage. Okay? So from this point, I'm going to use either red or black to show you how this works. I'm not going to go through any of the blitzes, let alone multiple blitzes. These 3 are out. They're blitzing. Okay? I am going to give you one route that will highlight how our defenders play man coverage with zone leverage and how it mixes in zone and man principles. Okay? And then I will show you how the safety spin post snap to cover up the structure change because we're also blitzing from the perimeter. Okay? So, here we go. So, whenever we do have the blitz like this, and we do, the Lucky Ringo goes to the side that the outside perimeter defender is blitzing from. So in this case, it's an outside linebacker on the left, it's going to be a Lucky. Okay? If it had been the boundary corner, it'd still be a Lucky. If he wasn't blitzing, but he was, the perimeter's coming from the right, it'd be a Ringo with a Roger. Same thing if it were the corner on the right. If one of the safeties is involved with the 2 inside linebackers, it's the same deal. Okay, so that's how we determine the Lucky Ringo, which in turn determines how the safeties spin. So I'm actually going to start off with the safeties. Okay, on the snap of the football, the safeties spin, and as they're spinning, they're reading the surface. Okay, so this is a Lucky, which triggers a Louie. On the snap of the ball, the whip in this case, who's hot on tight end number 2, screws down, and while he's doing that, he's reading surface. So for right now, we're going to say the surface on both sides is giving us the hi-hat, right? Pass read. So now that's the zone principle. The zone principle of the surface telling us run or pass then leads to the man principle, which is hot on the tight end number 2. Okay, so we're already mixing zone and man principles. On the snap of the football, safety away from it. So Lucky equals Louie. We're spinning left. Safety on the right rotates middle. And as he does that, he too is reading surface. Surface shows pass. He gets to his designated landmark, which is 20 yards. Middle of the field, right over the football where the quarterback's launch point is, wherever that might be. Okay? So there are the safeties. So, again, the inside linebackers in the nose, this triangle, if the running back is to appear, whether it's a draw, some regular run, or more importantly, some type of a screen, all right, or blitz beater, from B gap to B gap, these 3 guys would retrace with the running back. Okay? Again, assuming that the blitz here is going to be on the outside, which is the likelihood. Okay? He would peel off with running back C to D gap on this side, which would make defensive end away the outside cage, and he would take running back C gap to his side. And that's how we cover the running back. Okay? So now, see the safeties, when they spin on the snap, this safety is now part of the underneath coverage. That's why he's hot. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hot defenders with 1 safety deep. 6-man pressure. Okay? So now, how does this hot coverage work? I'm going to give you a crossing route to illustrate it. Okay, so the crossing route, the depth is irrelevant. It could be 20 yards, 15 to any depth whatsoever on a crossing route. Okay, you're hot. So here's how it works, right? Corners. Feet are staggered, so he's turned inside. He can see 1, 2, surface. So, boom, he reads surface. It shows pass. There's the zone principle. He now turns and faces number 1 because he's now hot on 1. It's all about 1. So now the man principles kick in. He doesn't take any pedals. It's like playing off-man technique. The receiver's stem is inside. He has to close the distance to be within what we call striking distance. I tell all our players, you can't make a play if you're not within straight. If you can't reach out and touch the guy you're supposed to be covering, whether it's zone or man, you can't make a play. All right, so do not create space. So now that's the man principle. Now what kicks in is the zone principle, right? Man coverage with zone leverage. That means all hot defenders remain dominant, which is on top of the receiver, right? Keep receiver in front of you. You're on what we call the upfield shoulder. That's the shoulder facing your own end zone. So now the receiver's in front of you, back to a zone principle. You can see the quarterback and see that ball thrown. And then it goes back to a man principle. You're playing the receiver and making sure it's an incomplete pass. We're not trying to intercept the football. This is man coverage with dominant or zone leverage. Okay, and that's what each of these 4 underneath hot defenders are trying to play. Okay, so when we bring a 6th, both inside linebackers and a 6th, either outside linebacker or corner, now the coffee size is large. Okay, and the one guy that we cannot account for with any one individual defender, we account for with the 3 blitzers and the outside cage defender opposite the blitz side. So the back is accounted for. Okay? So again, if you want all kinds of intricate detail, in particular about this detached outside linebacker who may or may not have a difficult time getting dominant leverage, he's the only one that might end up in trail, but you'll have to go back. Subscribers to medium, trio, or small, or the introduction to the zone blitz, and non-subscribers, you're going to have to push the button and subscribe. So I'm doing this on purpose in this particular presentation, okay? So that's how we handle 6-man pressures when both inside linebackers are blitzing. Okay, so I don't mind saying this, and I'm doing it as a tease non-subscribers. When one inside linebacker blitzes, it's small. When both blitz, it's medium. When both blitz and either one outside linebacker or one defensive back blitzes at the same time, it becomes large. Those are the 3 coffee sizes. So again, thank you to my subscribers, non-subscribers. I really hope I'm making the point because it doesn't cost a thing. Just push the button. To everyone, I hope you reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com for any questions at all. It's happening more and more. I'm learning football. I'm confident people on the other side of the screen are learning as well. And that's the purpose of this platform. So I thank YouTube again for providing this platform.